Greetings, everyone. Sorry for the small absence there. One of the advantages of working full-time is, well, more money. You know, I can cover my bills now and have more money for other stuff. But the disadvantage is less time for other stuff. Yeah, basically, I just finished a 7-day JAG working over the course of the Labor Day weekend during back to school in the computer department. Do the math there. Yeah, what's the one time a year when the most people want a new computer and want it now and want it set up and all this other good stuff? Yeah, right now. So it's been a crazy week and a half, just, dealing with all the back-to-school madness. So by the time I would get home from work, I would just be too damn exhausted to do anything other than veg in front of the computer, watch a movie or a TV show or something, and just relax and unwind. So, things have calmed down again, so I can get back to doing videos. Well, over the course of the summer, actually, once again, I'm way behind in Blu-ray, DVD, and graphic novel updates. So I thought we'd take care of them sort of in one fell swoop. Well, a few fell swoops. It's going to take a few videos to get through all of them, but I thought rather than doing like really in-depth review / updates like I usually do, I just kind of give you a quick overview update first, and then we'll do some in-depth reviews later of some of the titles, as I feel like doing them. So, what did I get? Lots of stuff. Let us begin today by taking a look at some of the sci-fi and fantasy stuff. Mostly Blu-rays, a few DVDs, but all awesome. And, let's take... God, I just don't know what I'm doing anymore. It's been so long. And let's do some stuff where we're looking at the things and checking out the who's it's today on the Multimedia Chronicles. Welcome back. Okay, so sci-fi. You like some sci-fi? I sure like some sci-fi. I have many shelves of sci-fi, and I would like to have many more shelves of sci-fi. So let's see what kind of sci-fi we got. Well, one of the big things that I wanted to get back into the collection as quickly as humanly possible was this thing I'm about to tell you about. As you mainly know, I just can't talk today. As you may or may not know, I had to sell a bunch of stuff shortly before the new job began, just because the unemployment period went a little bit longer than expected and was planned for. So I needed money to cover bills, so I basically sold a bunch of stuff from the collection, and this was one of the things that I sold, and one of the things I wanted to get back into the collection as soon as possible, because it's one of my all-time favorite sci-fi epics. And of course, talking about Babylon 5. Ooh, it's so shiny and pretty. Now, you probably recall from the recent DVD collection overview, I had all 5 seasons of this in the original releases, which were slightly larger in size and had spines that look like this. This is the movie collection. Oops, there. This is the movie collection, which has not been re-released, but so I hung on to that one. But they recently did slightly slimmer packaging re-releases of the 5 main seasons of the show. So there was 5 seasons. There was 6 TV movies, of which this set has 5. There was a 6th TV movie which got an individual release. Excuse me. There was a short-lived sequel series called Crusade, which was never finished, and there was another single-volume thing called The Lost Tales. Anyway, I had everything except The Lost Tales. So, recently, at Future Shop, the first 3 seasons of the re-release versions of Babylon 5 went on sale for $15 a piece. Now, to put that in perspective, when I originally bought the season sets when they first came out, and they cost about $60 to $75 per season, And I happily paid that at the time because I was making a lot of money and could afford it. And yeah, and well, I mean, $75 once every 6 months or however often they were coming out wasn't really that big, that big of a deal. But yeah, so anyway, the original releases all followed the same pattern. They basically had the same artwork on the spine, same artwork on the interiors as well, like there and stuff like that. And they were done in this sort of book style, which at first glance looks really cool. It's big, thick plastic pages. All the discs are kept nice and separate. The problem was the way these plastic pages are held in here is they're literally just glued to this flimsy cardboard spine. And more often than not, you would get a set brand new, factory sealed, out of the box, and the trays would be falling out of the box. So this set actually is held together quite well. But I remember my season 3 set was just, the trays were just annihilated inside. The discs were fine. The discs were safe. The actual disc tray, part of the tray, was fine. But the way they were connected to the spine was just decimated. And there was no way to tell at the time. And also at the time, it was the last copy that the local Future Shop had, so I couldn't take it in for an exchange. So anyway, so a couple reasons I wanted to get these re-releases. A, they're slimmer, so they take up less space on the shelf. And B, they have the exact same artwork, which is fine, so I'm not losing anything there. In fact, they actually have a little bit more artwork because it has all the artwork from the original case, plus it has... And it keeps the original booklets as well. This is one thing I was concerned about, but yes, they do include the original booklets from the larger sets. But it actually has new artwork on the interior sleeve, which is kind of nice. And then all the actual discs themselves are exactly the same as they were in the original releases. So yeah, I mean, a nice replacement for the old sets. Sturdier box, sturdier case, and takes up a little bit less shelf space. It doesn't quite have that cool thing which you may have seen with all the 5s lining up nicely across the 6 oversized sets like this, but what can you do? I mean, it's a small consolation. All the on-disc content is the same, and all the package art is the same, and it does include the booklet, which is quite nice. So what else did we get? Well, another replacement actually for something I sold, and I'm actually kind of glad I got this as a replacement. We got, remember the 2-pack Blu-ray set I had of the Dark Crystal and Labyrinth? Well, I got that again, but in limited edition packaging. This is called the Brian Froud Art Edition. And basically, it's exactly the same releases and exactly the same content as the previous release, but in this limited edition packaging with special artwork done just for this 2-pack. And then inside, we have the regular Blu-ray editions. The difference being, you now have a little ad for a couple of art books by Brian Froud. Pretty cool. I got one for, was it Goblins? Oh yeah, The World of the Dark Crystal. The Goblins of Labyrinth, which I think I have in an earlier edition. And then Trolls, which is, I believe, is a new one. Yeah, so pretty cool. Gotta love the art of Brian Froud. That's for sure. And as a fan of his artwork, both the Dark Crystal and Labyrinth are real treats, just because it's wonderful to see his artwork brought to life like that. So next up, speaking of Trolls, this is one that was actually recommended to me a while ago by Eric, also known as the Lonesome Foghorn, longtime YouTuber, viewer, and good friend of mine from deepest, darkest Sweden. I am, of course, speaking of the found footage smash international hit sensation Troll Hunter. Yeah, he recommended this to me quite a while ago, and at the time it hadn't even got a release over here, but it was so popular it got released basically everywhere. I really enjoyed this a lot, so very well recommended, Eric. Thank you very, very much. This is one that I'll be watching over and over again. I really had a blast with it. I'm probably going to do a more in-depth video about this release, or about this movie, as part of the Halloween movies later on. I'd like to do a 3rd edition of the horror movies that look like home movies thing, because it seems to be a pretty popular subgenre now, and there's a lot of movies coming out in that subgenre. So this would be a nice addition to that, and there's a few others I want to check out between then and now as well. And this, of course, does come with the slipcover, which is quite nice. There we go, it's the same artwork inside. But yeah, great movie if you're a fan of the found footage genre, and even if you're not particularly a fan of that genre, it's just a really entertaining film, and I definitely add my recommendation to that of my friends. And then, most recently, I got this, The Thing, classic 1982 sci-fi horror movie. Definitely on my top 5 favorite movies of all time. I just love this movie. This was sent to me, of course, recently by David Bunch of Numbers. And, well, seeing this again, I really wanted to see the recent prequel movie, so I picked that up as well. There we go. So now I can finally check this out. At the time of this recording, I still haven't watched it. I'm probably going to watch it, I don't know, tomorrow. It's a little late tonight, but imminently anyway. Yeah, so now I can finally have the double bill of the prequel and the original. No, I don't consider this a remake. I've gone into this before. This is just another adaptation of the same book. It's not a remake of the 50s one, okay? Stop calling it a remake, because it's not. This one, I don't know, people call it either a prequel or a pre-make, because apparently it does have quite a few similarities to this one, while at the same time tying into it quite nicely. So I've actually been very curious to see what they did with this one, because this one's such a favorite of mine. I heard from a lot of people that this was actually surprisingly good, the only complaint being slight overuse of CG, which is unfortunate, because one of the wonderful things about this was it's not non-use of CG. I mean, it was before the era of CG, so it was just some really cool practical effects. So anyway, yeah, The Thing, prequel to The Thing. So I'm definitely looking forward to checking that out. Now this one, I was kind of kicking myself. What was I doing? Yeah, I picked up Terminator, the Sarah Connor Chronicles, a while back. You may recall I got the first season as a gift, and I got the second season really cheap during, I think, a summer blowout sale at Walmart a while back. Got it for like $15 or something crazy like that. And, well, recently I finally sat down and watched the entire series, and I gotta say, damn good. I really enjoyed it a lot, and you know, add it to the list of shows that were canceled way too soon, because they were actually doing some really interesting things in this. But, yeah, so anyway, watching this really made me want to go back and watch the movies again. In particular, you know, the ones that I either hadn't seen yet or hadn't seen for a while. So, of course, I had Terminator 2, which was sent to me by a viewer a while back. Now, this is the only one I had on Blu-ray for a very long time. A lot of people were asking me, why don't you have the Terminator movies on Blu-ray? And, well, there's some very good reasons for that. Namely, that there's some issues with the transfers on most of them. I know the Terminator 2 edition is full of DNR. Terminator 1 is an old MPEG-2 encode that's full of digital artifacting and whatnot. Terminator 3, the original release anyway, was 1080i instead of 1080p, so that was a mistake. So the only one that actually got a decent release was Terminator Salvation, just because, you know, it was more recent, and being more recent, it was a more recent transfer. But, yeah, so anyway, despite the problems and without any kind of remastering or re-release in sight, I finally went out and picked up Terminator 1, Terminator 3, which I actually had not seen since I had it on DVD from back when it was new. Terminator Salvation, I got this for like $5 with the slipcover. How cool is that? So finally got to see Terminator Salvation, and seeing that, I had to get the kind of direct-to-video spin-off Terminator Salvation, the Machinima series as well. So we got lots of Terminator action going on there. Very cool. Yeah, so pretty cool. So anyway, I basically have absolutely everything Terminator now. And I have a lot of, and of course I have the PS2 game, Terminator Dawn of Fate. I don't have any of the Terminator 3 games. I'd like to get the one that has Arnie in it. I understand he did his own voice in that. And of course I have the Terminator 2 Extreme DVD and the Terminator 2 Ultimate Edition. And then down there you can see the old Laserdisc set, which is quite cool. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Terminator, what can I say? And then of course I just found out that Warner actually acquired the rights to distribute the first and second movies. So they're actually putting out the box set we never thought would happen, namely a collection of all 4 Terminator movies. However, if you already have the individual releases, don't waste your money on the box set. Yep. you guessed it, it's just a repackage. Nothing new. Terminator 1 and 2 are still the same old crap-ass problematic transfers. They're just direct ports of the previous releases. So if you already have the individual releases, don't rush out to buy the box set. Yeah, Terminator is one I'd actually like to do a series of videos about because, you know, despite my lack of having done videos about it before, it is one of my all-time favorite sci-fi action franchises. I think it's just a great saga, and I have a lot to say about it, which I'm not going to say now. But I'd like to sit down and do like kind of my overview of the movies, talk about the TV series, and give you a closer look at all my various Terminator 2 stuff. You know, I've got quite a bit of, well, I've got like what four different editions and a little bit of memorabilia, not a huge amount of memorabilia, but you know, a few things here and there. But yeah, that may be a ways down the road. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, I think that's a pretty good start to the updates. What do you think? A few nice reacquisitions that in some ways are actually upgrades over the previous versions I had, and some new stuff that I haven't had in the collection before. So, and some of which I haven't even seen before, which is great. Alrighty, well, that is it for this update. We'll see you again next time for the next one. Oh yes, there's more. I've been a busy bee over the past few months. All of these updates date back to, I guess, maybe June, maybe even as far back as May. I'm not sure, but they go back basically over the course of the entire summer up to now. So, yeah, it's not like I just went out and spent $1 gazillion on Blu-rays or something. No, this is progressively over the course of the past few months. It's only just now that I've got around to doing the updates. You know, like I usually do. I never do them as I get them. No. If you want to get the latest info about, like, right up to the second of when I get stuff, check out the Facebook page. You'll find the link on, I think, on the main profile page here. But, yeah, because on the Facebook page, I always post, like, as soon as I get something, like as soon as I get home, it's like, hey guys, check out what I got today, and then I'll post a link to the Amazon page so you can buy it and I can get money for it. Alrighty, that is it from me to you for now. So until next time, thanks for watching, and sayonara. Welcome back. Ow. Yeah, that was acted badly.